Welcome to real life on the homestead in Ontario. I'm Marie, and yeah, my garden now looks like a disco. Why? Because those deer came back and took out all my bush beans. They are starting to try to come back, and I have replanted some more. But remember, they took out this side of the green beans, and the next day they jumped the fence and took out this whole bed. But the reason I have you in here today is to look at my garlic. It is starting to yellow, and that's a great sign. I have already come in here and picked all my scapes, almost all my scapes. I always find a couple that I missed. Here is one, for example. Let me just break that off and show it to you. So these scapes here, I have actually pulverized in the food processor and freeze dried, and I am using those to make garlic butter. But the rest here, as you can see, are starting to yellow. Once I have 4 leaves yellowed on each stalk, so let's show you here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Once I have 4 leaves dried up, I know that it's time to pull them out of the ground and cure them. Now, since these are almost ready, what I'm going to do is go inside and deal with last year's garlic, because we still have a bit and I don't want to waste it. And it's no reason to waste it because I make my garlic powder. And if you've seen some of my cooking demonstrations, I use my garlic pucks. Well, I'm going to show you how I make those garlic pucks. First, got to get in the cold room, grab them, and peel them. Got a few heads to get through. Well, we're the first week of July, and I obviously did something right because my garlic from last year is still pretty firm, but it is starting to sprout. Let me show you here. See how it is starting to sprout. Since it'll take a few weeks to cure the garlic from this year, I'm going to make sure that I save these before it's too late. Let me show you what I'm going to do. Now, as you can see, it is starting to root and of course sprout. So what I do is I just peel these up. Because I want nothing to go to waste. And let me explain this to you. You can use the whole thing, including the sprout. It is not bad for you. There's no toxins in it. However, it will have a bitter flavor through here, as well as it'll taste a bit grassy. So what I like to do is I remove that portion there, which was the bitter sprout, kind of a grassy flavor. And this, I will show you how I pulverize it and freeze it. See that? It's a perfectly good piece of garlic. The other thing I do, I'm just going to take this one and put it in my bucket. The other thing I do is another piece here is I just peel them as such, and then I actually do leave the sprout out, and I just slice them as such, and these are going to go on a freeze dryer tray, freeze them, and then I will freeze dry these and pulverize them into garlic powder. That I don't mind having the sprout in there because the garlic flavor will be nicely combined and there's no issue at all. So 2 methods to make sure that this garlic does not go to waste. I'll show you how I do my garlic pucks inside the house after I get these all peeled. I don't have that many left. This is how I bundle them, by the way, in case you didn't see that video. I just join them together after they're dry and good old-fashioned zip tie. and I hang them in the cold room. And look how well they've kept all winter. These are still good, but once I get the new harvest in, I'm gonna make sure that these are well preserved. The first thing I'm gonna work on is getting all the sprouts out of the garlic that I am going to make into my garlic pucks, and slicing up the others for my freeze-dried garlic. I had said that I was gonna slice these up as such for freeze drying, but I've decided, and you know me, I change my mind all the time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that as is, so all the little sprouts as well as some sliced up garlic. I'm gonna put that into the food processor, and those will go into my freeze dryer to make some garlic powder. These here going into the food processor to mince up to make my garlic pucks. Quick cleanup. We're gonna get these all done in no time at all. And then into the food processor. I use a blade and I try to chop so that it is a fine mince, but not a puree of garlic. Let me show you exactly what I mean by that. And I do it in small batches, and I pulse it just because I want to make sure that it's fine, but not mush. No salt, no vinegar, no oil, just garlic. That's all we want is minced garlic. And there we go. This is what I'm looking for. I do them in small batches because I don't want the bottom to have that puree. Now what I like to use is these trays, and I will link these below because I think they're fantastic, but you could use a simple ice cube tray. What I like about these is they have a lid, and the lid lets them stack in the freezer, and the bottom is a soft silicone, so it makes it easier to pop out whatever you've frozen in there. And I use these for fruit purees, garlic, herbs, tons of stuff. So what I do is I use them to freeze them and then take them out, wash them up, and place my product in zipper bags. Now, just taking my minced garlic, and I like to use a rubber spatula. Reason for that is I find I can press them deep into each cavity so that I have a solid block. My goal is to have a block that equals approximately 2 large cloves of garlic. Makes it easy when I'm going to cook and use it for a recipe. If I only need 1 garlic clove, simple enough, I just cut it in half. And as you can see, I need to add quite a bit more to this, so let me get back to the food processor and get some more. And as you can see, I've got another layer of minced garlic. I'm pressing it nicely into each cavity. This will be perfect. Well, it's now the next morning and our garlic pucks are frozen. Let me show you what I do. I use a medium-sized freezer bag, any brand you want. And I do love these trays. And like I said, I will link in the description where to get these. However, if you're just using a regular ice cube tray, that's fine too. Just when you're taking it out, run the bottoms under some warm water, the same as you would with old-fashioned ice making. What I like about these is, number one, you can keep them in the freezer and just stack them because they have the lids. I like to use these to keep my herbs, so I want the tray back. What I love about them is the silicone bottom. You can just press on it and it releases the cube. Let me get this top off. Just want to show you this. See how it releases the cube? This I now place in my freezer bag. And when I need some garlic, 1 cube is about 2 large cloves of garlic. So let me get these into the bag I'm gonna make a bag for my son and 3 bags for myself. I ended up making 4 trays, and these are 14 cubes in each tray. So I've got quite a bit of garlic here. You need to work fast because you don't want these to defrost. And today is a warmer day. So I want to make sure I get these done quick and back into the freezer. How simple is that? The others, like I said, I freeze dried and made some garlic powder. Let me show you what that turned out like. There's my garlic powder. It smells potent, beautiful. Let me show you a little bit on my hand. That's what it looks like once I put it through my dry container of my Vitamix. This will keep easily for a year. I like to replace my spices, any kind, store-bought or homemade, every year. But when I need fresh garlic, and let's be honest, sometimes even peeling and mincing garlic is a chore when you're in a rush. So what I do, just grab one of the cubes out of my bag. I know that's 2 garlic cloves. If I only need 1, I just cut it in half. And there you go. Simple as can be. A great way to save that garlic before it goes off and make it a little bit of a convenience for myself. I tell you, you gotta try this. Garlic cubes, beautiful thing. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my little saving last year's garlic before the new garlic is ready. And if you like this type of content, please make sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends, but most of all, go out, live your best life. We'll see you next time.